Madam President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning everybody. My name is Markus Beyrer, I'm the Chief Executive of Business Europe, and it is my honor and my pleasure to welcome you all to Business Europe Day 2020. With the climate law adopted yesterday and the industry and SME strategies to be coming next week, there's plenty we will have to discuss today, and we have a full program. And of course, we are all eager to listen to President von der Leyen in a couple of minutes. We are very happy that you're with us. But before this, without further ado, I would ask our President, Pierre Gattaz, to come on stage and give us his welcoming words. Pierre.
Dear President von der Leyen, dear Presidents, dear Director General, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, it's a real great pleasure to welcome you here for the 5th Business Europe Day. We are extremely pleased that you, President von der Leyen, accepted to do the opening speech. And the fact that you are here with us in a week full of issues requiring your urgent attention shows the importance you give to talking to the business community, and thank you very much. The role of the European Commission is absolutely crucial and central in building a successful Europe. 4 crucial initiatives have already been sketched out: the Green Deal, the digital, the equality, gender equality, and the Africa strategy. Another 2 essential strategies that your European Commission is putting together will be published next week on industry and on SMEs. Business Europe's want to contribute to the success of all these initiatives. Economic times are not getting easier. The OECD warned that the coronavirus outbreak could slash global economic growth to 1.5% in 2020, compared to 2.9% in its previous forecast. Europe will not be spared, but we can make it. Our European model is unique. European companies do not only care about prosperity, but also about people and about planet. This is why Europe is one of the best places in the world to live. But if we want to fulfill our social and environmental responsibility and ambitions, and show to the world that our model is the best one, we must prove that it works economically. We choose to focus Business Europe Day 2020 on the 3 pillars of our success: prosperity, people, planet. Under this slogan, we propose an ambitious agenda for the European Union in 2019-2024. And today, we want to have in-depth discussions on how to create a virtuous circle between the European economic, social, and environmental policy. A discussion on how to make sure that all the policies of the European Union contribute to establishing a business-friendly environment, thereby ensuring the economic success of our continent. And there are 5 key messages I would like to pass on the occasion of this day. My first message is about the Green Deal. The question is not about whether this deep societal transformation is needed. On this, we all agree. The key question is how to make it a success. The 23 million European companies are at the core of this success. Only competitive and profitable companies will bring technological solutions, sustain jobs, and generate the wealth required to finance this transition. We share this objective of moving as fast as possible to a climate-neutral economy. And your proposal for a European climate law is an important step to further organize actions toward that objective. European business has already contributed significantly to this. We are committed to accelerate this transition. And we also see the enormous opportunities for European companies if we get this transition right in a world where we, Europeans, hold already 31% share of global trade in clean tech. But we must not forget that there are also concerns in the business community about how to get it to this objective. Compared to our prosperity, people, planet agenda for the EU, which tackled the 3 dimensions of the sustainability debate, the public debate around the Green Deal tends, unfortunately, to narrow down the notion of sustainability to its environmental dimension. And there are many questions still to be solved around the societal, economic, and technological feasibility of such a profound transformation. The transition will have jobs and purchasing power implications. The cost on the energy bill of individuals will increase, and for companies too, with profound implications for Europe as an investment locations. We must not forget that the growing ambition will increase the risk of carbon and investment leakage in the absence of comparable ambitions by major trading partners, which we don't see right now. It is essential to have a toolbox of measures that safeguards the competitiveness of our industry. This includes the debate around carbon border adjustments, but this is certainly not a silver bullet. We also need an adequate allocation of free allowances and continuous compensation of indirect carbon cost. Business Europe wants to support you in making the Green Deal a success. But we also need to raise the necessary questions and ask for the necessary reality checks. We insist on the need to carry out proper impact assessments, not only for the EU as a whole, but also for its different member states. And having a stable and predictable policy environment is key to foster the investment necessary for this unprecedented transformation of our economy. My second message is about industrial strategy. The best way to ensure that the green transition has a strong impact, strong public support, and does not lead to disindustrialization of our economy is to closely connect the Green Deal with a strong industrial strategy, because research and innovations will bring most of the solution for the climate. Our major competitors all have sharp industrial strategies. Business Europe has been for a long time advocating for a much more strategic European approach to industry policy. We very much welcome that your Commission will be coming up with a new industrial strategy next week. A strong industrial strategy is only as strong as its implementation. To ensure that this time it really makes a difference, we propose the establishment of a sounding board of high-level business representatives and an annual report to monitor industrial competitiveness based on a very short list of key performance indicators, KPIs, such as global market share of exported manufactured goods, for instance. This board should also look at the impact of other policies, such as competition policy, trade policy, social policy, environmental policy, on industrial competitiveness, and it should propose corrective measures if necessary. We will also need to make European competition policy fit for a world with increasing global competition, while maintaining its strong role for the functioning of our single market. Level playing field has become a critical issue as European companies increasingly face unfair competition around the world. Many of the distortions are created by foreign subsidies and by state-owned enterprises. The implementation of the FDI screening regulation is therefore crucial. And we are currently working on suggestions for improving the international procurement initiative. And we will need to come up with a mechanism that mitigates the impact of these distortions created by foreign subsidies and by foreign state-owned enterprises in our single market. My third message is about trade. We need progress on 3 fronts. 1, rebalancing our relationship with key partners such as the United States and China. 2, preserving and reinforcing the multilateral framework. And 3, advancing the ambitious bilateral agenda with agreements like the EU-Mercosur. We count on you, President von der Leyen, to persuade the US administration that we have every interest in preserving the transatlantic partnership and working together to tackle common challenges such as digitalization and China. We want a trade agreement with the US, but not the deal that President Trump has in mind, including agriculture in trade talks with the US, for instance, without balancing this by including sensitive issues for the US like public procurement. In the absence of appetite on the US side to solve the crisis of the WTO dispute settlement mechanism, we must work together to achieve an ambitious outcome on e-commerce negotiations and convince others that we need more effective rules for industrial subsidies and state-owned enterprises. If we want a stronger and fairer economic relationship with China and address the systemic challenge that China poses to us, we must focus on 4 key objectives. The first one is securing a level playing field between China and the EU. The second one is mitigating the impact of China's government-induced market distortions. The third one is reinforcing the EU's own competitiveness, and that's very, very, very important for all of us. The fourth one is ensuring fair competition and cooperation on third markets. And Business Europe has made already 130 concrete recommendations to achieve this. Moreover, we want as close as possible future relations between the EU and the UK after the end of the transition period. EU and the UK trade must remain tariff and quota free. Non-tariff barriers must be minimized. We also need ambitious provisions on trade in services, on investment, on data flows, and on government procurement. And continuous regulatory cooperation and mutual recognition will be crucial to mitigate disruptions in the long term. Divergence in rules should be avoided to maintain barrier-free trade. Time for negotiation is very short, very short. The transition period needs to be used efficiently to finalize, to ratify, to implement the agreement in time. However, if it becomes necessary, both sides should be open to find pragmatic solutions that prevent cliff edge by the end of 2020. My fourth message is about the single market and digitalization. We are concerned that rising national protectionism could undermine the jewel in the crown of the European Union. We count on the Commission to strongly defend its 4 freedoms and put the development of the single market back at the top of the EU agenda. There is significant scope for improvement in the compliance with single market legislation, especially in the area of services. We count on the action plan on implementation and enforcement in the single market of next week to reinforce compliance and improve the market surveillance system. And we must accelerate the digital transformation of our single market. This is a crucial necessity. Digitalization has already brought economic and societal benefits through improving efficiency and making our day-to-day lives easier. The rollout of cyber security 5G will pave the way for the next stage of development. This will enable innovations such as artificial intelligence, with opportunities to improve security, improve mobility, energy, healthcare, transportation, education, skills. The investment gap in our digital infrastructures alone stands at around 65 billion euro per year. And implementing reforms and stepping up investment in this field could add 14% growth by 2030, in 10 years, according to latest Commission's estimation. Legitimate concerns regarding AI must be addressed, but we must maintain favorable conditions to research and innovation. We are faced with a simple choice: get this balance right or lose out on this next technological race. In this sense, it is beneficial the Commission recently unveiled its digital master plan. While digital is international by design, Europe needs its own strategy to lead within the context, which means supporting European values will be critical in this venture. My fifth and last message is about skills and social policy. Economic convergence is a foundation of social convergence. And economic and social progress must be financed by growth and by productivity gains. Without this, we will not be able to ensure the sustainability of our social protection systems. The tools of social policy remain largely within national competence. But Europe has a role to play, I will say, in three major topics. Europe has a role to play in making sure that member states fulfill the commitments they have made regarding reforms on their own labor markets, education and training, and social protection. The efficiency and financial sustainability of national social systems is essential not only for long-term social welfare, but also for the proper functioning of the economic and monetary union. Second topic, Europe has a key role to play in improving education and training. Our companies face recruitment difficulties, even in countries where unemployment remains high. We need exchanges of good practices among us and learn from each other, from the best performers in Europe, on how to address skill shortages and mismatches. And the European Union can offer financial support for the development of apprenticeship in countries that are lagging behind in this respect. Third topic, Europe has a key role to play in facilitating the mobility of workers, whether employed or self-employed. For example, Europe has to organize mutual recognition of qualifications, and it must ensure that member states do not impose excessive administrative burden for simple business trips. This is very important. Dear President, this is the end of my introduction speech. I really appreciated the exchange that we had so far, since a couple of weeks now, and I know you are determined to take the European Union forward and build a stronger and better union. You can count on the support of the business community in this endeavor. Europe needs successful companies, and companies need a successful Europe. Your success will be our success, and our company's achievements will be your achievements. So we look forward to working with you closely and to deliver a better Europe for all of us and for all. Thank you very much.